Moving into the other part.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This weekend, we're celebrating Evie Burke and her being called to the Torah tomorrow morning as a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandments. So we'll honor her family throughout the service and welcome her to join us. I'll invite the family up now to light our candles and invite Shabbat in for our community.
Microphone. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the word we shall speak into our hearts and our lives.
Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring offerings of their heart. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
You hold her hand. Good job.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'havlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Please join us in Hine Matov.
Hine, 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 hine.
hine, 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 matov, umanayim, hine, matov, umanayim. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. Hine, 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 hine.
On Shabbat, we rest. But there's more to this idea of Shabbat Menucha, Shabbat rest, than maybe sleeping in on Saturday morning or taking a nap on Saturday afternoon. On Shabbat, we pause. We, unlike the divine who finished creation in 6 days, we have projects and tasks and things which will follow us from earlier today into next week. So tonight, as we come together in prayer, we pause and we spend time to just be. We continue with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Lecha
Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'letchila.
Lecha
Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashavat chila.
Lecha
Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orakumi uri, 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 shirdaberi, kevod Adonai alayich nidla. Lecha Dodi,
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary or to your home. Boi v'shalom materet bala, gam b'simcha uv'sochola, toch emuneh am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha
Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. Yikada vikada shemei rabba be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecha ben Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'meru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevarach Le'alamu almei almaya yitabarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yidromam v'yinasi V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha barechu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiron be'alma V'meru Amen.
Continue with the call to worship on page 28.
Lai la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMavorach Baruch Adonai HaMavorach HaMavorach Leolam Va'id HaMevorach Leolam Va'id.
On the following page, we read together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, Bechochma Poteach She'arim, Umiftuna Mishane Itim, Umachalif et Hazmanim, Umisader et HaKochavim, B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono, Bore Yom V'Laila, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, V'Choshech Mipnei Or, Umavir Yom Umevi Laila, Umavdil Ben Yom Uvein Laila, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue with Havat Olam on the following page.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadita Otanu limadita Al Kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu V'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta.
We take a deep breath in and out, and we ready ourselves to say Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malachuto, Leolam Va'ed. You can be seated and join me in chanting V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher Anochi metzavecha hayom alavavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'levtecha b'derech u'b'shofecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohim Emet.
אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. And we think of the celebration that happened on the shores of the sea, and we celebrate with Evie this weekend, and she will lead us in the Micha Mocha. So Evie, if you want to join me. The tefillah. Evie, you can come up here, though, and you can my mistake. I'm going to sit right by Linda.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא.
We have many names for God, and one of those names, which we call God in the evening, is Shomreinu, our guardian, our guard. We'll sing together the Hashkivenu, and as we think about sleep in the coming hours, we ask God to be our guard in the night and protect us and wake us up in the morning tomorrow refreshed.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha.
Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Oh, Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, Adonai.
Evie will join with your voice now and celebrate with you. And we'll invite you to lead us in our tefillah this evening. So if you want to join me, and we'll begin on page 46.
Adonai, Sefatai Tita, Ufia Gita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, Elayom, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezra Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim Behesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim Ve'ropech Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar mikamocha ba'al gevurot umido melech melech memit umechaye umatmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehayot hakol baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol.
You may be seated. Ata kadosh ushimcha kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yom yechalelucha sela. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We continue on 57, and we'll join together in the English at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance, and let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha be'irah na'avod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. Continue with the words of Shalom Rav on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
V'tov be'enecha levarich et amcha Yisrael b'chol tovecha bishlomecha.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Please take a few moments for silent meditation.
Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Israel. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
During the last 2 weeks or so, our movement has crossed a major milestone. Our youth have returned to cabins and dining halls. Our campgrounds, which sat empty for so many months, are now bursting with life. As I was scrolling Facebook this week, I couldn't help but look through Asrui's photos from opening day and the first few days of camp. Asrui, for those of you who don't know, is a reform camp in Wisconsin, and it's the place where a few of our own children our temple kids will call home this summer. And it's a special place for a few in the community as well, including myself. And in these pictures, I saw everything one would expect to see from a new summer at camp. Pictures of smiling friends reunited, happy staff, excited rabbis eager to teach Judaism and make Judaism come alive. The pictures really filled my soul in a way that's hard to describe. It was hard not having summer camps last summer, and I wasn't even planning on going to camp. Anyway, the thing that caught my eye was that a few of the children in all of the pictures wore masks. Now, I don't know all of the intricacies of the rules and policies in place to keep children and staff safe at camp this summer, but I do have full confidence that everyone at all of our URJ camps are doing everything within their power to keep everyone as safe as possible. I just can't imagine what some parents and even campers are feeling now and were feeling a few weeks ago. I remember many late nights at camp with children, staying up with children who couldn't sleep. Some of them, of course, wanted to stay up as late as possible just for the fun of it. But for some, being away from home was a scary experience for the first few times. This summer, with the added pressure of a contagious virus, I'm sure there are more than a few parents and campers that were a bit apprehensive about attending camp this summer. We read a story this week in Torah of a king who himself is apprehensive. This week we're in Parshat Balak, which is named for a man who is also struggling with fear. King Balak of Moab witnessed the Israelite army overtake other regional kings and cause mass destruction. Our weekly reading opens with his response to these events. It says, Vayar Balak, and Balak saw all that Israel had done. And the next thing that we learn about him, Vayagar Moab, and the people of Moab were scared. All of the people of Moab were afraid, including the king. Balak was afraid because of the Israelites. Balak was not afraid because a royal advisor or ancient intelligence officer recounted the events of the war to him. No, Balak was afraid, and all of Moab was afraid, because they saw with their own eyes what Israel had done. They watched the power of the Israelites with their own eyes, and because of that firsthand account, Vayagar, they all were scared. Over the course of this narrative, these two verbs, seeing and being afraid, work together to drive the action. Fear is the constant impetus for how King Balak reacts. He sends advisors to summon Balaam, the royal prophet, to the throne of the king. And there, Balak details Balaam's task. Balaam is instructed to curse the people of Israel. And as this action plays out, everything hinges on the characters seeing firsthand what is going on before they react. A few examples. Balaam, on his journey to meet Balak, sees a divine angel in front of him. Balaam's donkey also sees this angel, not once but twice. The second time, the donkey witnesses this miraculous sight, and she lays down in her tracks. The donkey then speaks, which is a whole other interesting part of the story, which we can save for another drash, another Shabbat evening. Several times, Balaam says that he can only do what God shows him, what God puts forth in front of his very eyes. Eventually, Balak and Balaam see each other face to face when they meet. Together, they both open up their eyes and look upon the people of Israel. Also, God opens up his eyes and sees the people of Israel, just to name a few examples. The characters in our parashah do so much looking and seeing in this story. But if we think back to the beginning of the story, they are overcome by such powerful emotions. Because of this, it takes significantly more effort for them to understand what is going on around them. The Or HaChaim, a commentary on the Torah, says Balak's actions this week don't necessarily come from a place of hate towards Israel. Rather, Balak was fearful for himself and his people, the people he was tasked with protecting. Balak's desire to curse Israel came from a place of self-preservation. In the end, God put a blessing in Balaam's mouth instead of a curse. Words of praise were offered when fear prompted anger. Not just one blessing, but multiple blessings are offered in this week's Torah portion. And the most important, the most beautiful of these blessings, we still recite every morning. The words, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. How lovely are your tents, house of Jacob. Sometimes fear and anger can blind us to reality. Fear is a truly powerful experience, but it is a reality of life. We all have been scared at points, and we all will have moments or experiences ahead of us in life that will make us feel afraid. When we are so attached to fear at a particular moment, it is harder for us to see the situation for what it is. Balaam offered more than one blessing as a reminder that sometimes it's hard to see the world around us. It takes us a few tries to understand, to recognize the blessing that's underneath it all. So I'm not completely sure this Shabbat which one is teaching me more. If it's Balaam's blessings in the face of Balak's fear, or if it's the inspiring stories of URJ summer camps, cautiously finding community and safety when I'm sure they were nervous. But Torah acknowledges us and holds each of us this Shabbat evening. I invite each of you, the next time you feel fear, give yourself a moment to see everything around you. Look twice if you have to, because there is blessing somewhere just waiting to be seen. Shabbat Shalom. We think of others who are afraid this Shabbat evening because they're ill or a loved one is ill. This Shabbat, we're also holding the community of Miami in our hearts, and especially those families who wish they were sitting around a Shabbat dinner table together and are waiting for news of loved ones. We'll offer a Misha Berach Lecholim, a prayer of healing for the ill and the broken. We offer the words on page 253.
Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
Moment of our prayer, we'll think of those in need of healing. Our community is thinking of Jan Fortnoff and any others you would like to share with our community.
Rhea Bateman, Fran and Reed Wasserstrom.
Berach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And let us say Amen.
We move to words of conclusion, and we'll rise for Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latekedu la leyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegaor aleinu kechahamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamalchim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week, we extend our condolences to Ashley and the Danelski family who lost Ellen Danelski yesterday, who will be laid to rest this Monday. And in the period of Shloshim, we remember Howard Gottlieb, Dennis Weiner, R. Donald Edwards, and Donald Kaufman. And this year, we mark the yahrzeit of Mark Adler, Stacy Burloff, Dora H. Cohen, Robert DeRose, Helene Feinsilber, Estelle M. Fortnoff, Clara Friedman, Eleanor E. Friedman, Ida Gergel, Julius L. Greenfield, Belle Hartzell, Carrie Moss Hirsch, Anna Kalish, Morris Katzenberg, Joan Kretschmer, Catherine McMains, Dr. David Meckler, Erwin Meckler, Gertrude Meerman, Jack J. Moss, William Nyman, Ronald Dale Pergosin, Rosa Redder, Sarah Redder, Saul Riegel, Mark David Reisberg, Jacob Rosenblatt, Tina Schwartz, Rose L. Sickerman, Abraham Sosnoff, Selma Unger, and Peter Keith Van Buskirk. If there are names that I have omitted or names you would like to add at this time, please. Jim. We rise as a community of support and turn to the words of our Kaddish Tome found on page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam wa'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel, to which we say together, Amen. Having connected to those who we've loved and lost, let us now connect with the words of the priestly benediction. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May he shine his countenance upon you and be gracious. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasam lecha shalom. And may he lift up his face and shine upon you and grant us peace. And let us all say together, Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. We'll invite the Burke family up one more time to lead us in our Kiddush and Motzi this evening.
Ready? Baruch Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodesho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila l'mikraya kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Grab a piece. You want to? Yeah, you can grab a piece. And then you guys can go take a seat. Good job. You're going to be bar mitzvah before you know it. You'll be up here. You go take it. I'll invite Linda Barr on behalf of our congregation to offer some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. As Ashley said, I'm Linda Barr, First Vice President here at Temple Israel, and thank you for joining us either in person or online tonight. And I will say tonight is my first night that I have been back at Shabbat services indoors since 15 months ago. And I will say it is much better than watching on Zoom in your jammies, eating pizza. And no, I didn't do that. Who would do that? So we have a number of exciting programs coming up at Temple Israel. Join Ashley Barrett for Havdalah at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live this Saturday. She does a great job on that. It's very enjoyable. And on the Temple patio next Saturday, July 3rd at 5:30 p.m. Join members of Temple Israel's Keshet group for a baseball game at Canal Park to support the Akron Pride Festival and our LGBTQA plus community. The game is on Tuesday, June 29th, and tickets should be purchased through the Rubber Ducks. And finally, we want to wish Evie Burke an early Mazel Tov on her bat mitzvah tomorrow. She's going to do great. And the family invites you all to enjoy the ice cream truck, oh boy, which will be in the parking lot from 12 to 2. Do not wear your jammies, okay? Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Linda. We'll close with Kehila Kadosha.
Just want to thank my son Noah for joining me tonight. It's always a pleasure to sing with you, but
You're welcome.
If you are a 10 and we're Nitzavim, we stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, oh, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. One half of this side is is going to join me in starting with the Kehila Kadoshas. And then we're going to go back to the If You Are Attempts. That side is going to sing the normal way, okay? So we're going to start on Kehila Kadosha. You're going to start on If You Are Atem. Okay?
Atem.
If You Are Atem. And then we're going to go backwards. So you follow me and you follow Mom. Or Kathy. Cantor Kathy. Ready? Kehila.
If you are Atem,
Kadosha.
then we're Nitzavim.
Kehila.
We stand here today
Kadosha.
and remember the dream.
Kehila.
If you are Atem,
Kadosha.
then we're Nitzavim.
Kehila.
We stand here today and remember the dream.
If you are
Kehila,
Atem,
Kadosha,
then we're Nitzavim.
Kehila,
We stand here today
Kadosha,
and remember the dream.
Kehila,
If you are Atem,
Kadosha,
then we're Nitzavim.
Kehila,
We stand here today
Kadosha,
and remember the dream.
Lai, 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 everybody. Lai, 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 lai.
Whoa,
Lai, 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 lai. One more time. Here we go. Lai, 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 lai.
whoa,
Lai, 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 lai.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
See you tomorrow.